Hi there, Junior Roses, welcome back to the YouTube. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the timeline from start to finish of male puberty. Now, I thought this video would be interesting because I still haven't hit puberty yet. Now, I thought this video would be interesting because school is just an absolute mosh pit of kids going through puberty, hormones flying around. So many funny things happen when you're going through puberty, and we're going to find out in this video exactly what happens. Now, before this video starts, guys, I just want to take this moment to point out that 83.5% of you that watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you are one of those 83.5% of people, then please subscribe to the channel. We're growing all the time, and it's great, but come on, only 16.6% of you subscribed? That's got to change. So in this video, we're going to see exactly what happens at each stage of the male puberty. So exactly 1 month before you hit puberty, you start feeling a bit different. Everyone starts puberty at different times, generally about 9 to 12 years old. Or in my case, you might be 24 years old and still haven't hit it yet, and that's fine. I actually think I hit it about 13, 14 years old, so I was quite late. I remember in school, there were so many kids, and I remember thinking I was a late one, and thinking, oh god, there's probably something wrong with me. Because all the other kids who were like 11 years old were going around like this. Why unlucky, your balls haven't dropped yet, you wanker! Literally, these kids would be like 11 years old, and they'd just be going around with full-grown beards. And I would just sort of be sat there like, what's going on? What's wrong with me? But it turns out it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. It just hits you at random times. So when puberty does start, hormonal changes start happening. Hormones play a critical role in our body's chemistry. At 10 years old, your testes grow. The first visible sign of puberty is the enlargement of the testes. Well, there you go. I don't remember a specific time that my balls started getting bigger. In fact, yeah, maybe they didn't. Is it normal that my testicles are the size of peas? At 10.2 years old, so this is quite specific. I guess this is just an average. Testosterone levels increase. As they grow, they begin to produce larger amounts of testosterone. You get fucking wham! So that is literally the age that you start to become a year 7. So that is why the year 7s get to school and they start going, oh! 10.3 years old, hair starts growing downstairs. Again, I remember, specifically with me, this did not happen until I was 13, 14. I remember thinking in PE changing rooms, when you're with everyone else getting changed. Like, why the hell has Peter got hair under his armpits? I can only grow hair on my head. What the hell's going on? 10.4 years old, manhood grows. This growth is gradual, and it first grows in length, then girth. Well, there you go. Again, don't remember that ever happening. Oh, it's a bit shit, really, isn't it? Hopefully that's still to come for me. At 10.6 years old, bones become more dense. 2/3 of calcium stores in men are made during puberty. I do remember when I eventually did hit puberty, I do remember feeling a lot stronger. And I started getting a lot taller very quickly. By the way, guys, make sure you carry on watching to the end of this video because the fact at the end is actually very interesting. At 10.7 years old, skeletal growth begins. Skeletal mass approximately doubles at the end of adolescence. Wow. So at the start of puberty to the end of puberty, your skeletal mass doubles. Double in size or weight? It's a really interesting fact. 10.8 years old, rapid increase in height. Yeah, well, I think I did have maybe a little growth spurt, but I didn't have my big growth spurt until I was about 14. For those of you wondering, I am 6'1" now. Before I hit my growth spurt, I was probably like 5 foot something. So I grew like so quickly in a short amount of time. It's crazy how the body works. It often leads to boys being taller than girls at this stage. That's so true, because when we were in primary school, I remember the tallest person in the class, and in most classes in year 6, was always a girl, because girls hit puberty earlier than boys, and it's always so funny, because the girls just look down on all the boys. At 11 years old, your hands and feet grow. It's interesting that they come afterwards. You grow in height first, and your bones get denser, but your hands and feet are just tiny up until this point. Hands and feet often grow disproportionately before the rest of the body catches up. Oh my god, do you remember growing pains? Maybe you're experiencing them right now. It depends how old you are watching this video, but growing pains were the worst thing ever. It's like your body was just aching. It's like, why is it aching for no reason? Felt like my skeleton was trying to escape my body. At 11.1 years old, jawline more defined. Basically become a model. Start mewing. Your facial bones will change and your jawline will become more defined. Yeah, that's why all the year 7s go around like this. They're just showing off their jawline. At 11.3 years old, vocal cords lengthen. As a boy's body adjusts to these changes, his voice may crack or break. I remember vividly so many times having to like read something out in class. Maybe we're in lesson, having to read out a book and my voice would break. There's nothing you could do. It just happens. At 11.4 years old, your voice deepens. I think this is very average. Like if you're watching this and this hasn't happened to you yet, don't worry. Because it didn't happen to me till I was like 14. And for some people, it doesn't happen till later than that. And for others, it might happen earlier. You might have a full-grown beard at 3. The change is subtle at first, but becomes more noticeable later. I remember I was talking on the phone. This is like not long after I'd hit puberty. I was talking on the phone to one of my dad's friends, and he didn't believe, because he hadn't seen me in a while, he didn't believe he was talking to me. He thought he was talking to my dad still because he said that we sounded so similar. He hadn't seen me since I'd hit puberty. So that was quite funny. At 11.6 years old, the Adam's apple becomes more prominent. It's made of cartilage and it protects your voice box. I always wondered what that was for. It's kind of weird. I don't think mine's prominent at all. In fact, I don't think I have one. I literally just look like a giraffe. There's nothing there, is there? Maybe I still am going to hit puberty. Maybe I'm going to hit it again when I'm 25. I don't know. And then I'll sound like this in my videos. At 11.8 years old, body hair becomes darker. Testosterone continues to stimulate hair follicles, leading to thicker hair. That explains why I went from blonde to ginger. For those of you who don't know, I don't know why any of you would know this, but I used to be blonde. I wasn't always ginger. 11.9 years old, an increase in red blood cells. It's like you're gaining superpowers, isn't it? That's what it feels like. Again, it's the year 7 chavs. That's why they're so powerful. They're going through puberty. Of course, it all makes sense now. At 12 years old, you have more energy. Hey! This happens as energy requirements increase to support the changes. Well, there you go. Again, guys, don't forget to carry on watching to the end because the last fact is very interesting. 12.1 years old, facial hair starts appearing. Nope, didn't fucking happen. Didn't fucking happen till, actually, that even later than 14. I don't think I could start growing facial hair. I was 15, 16 maybe. Facial hair often starts as fine, soft hair on the upper lip. Okay, well in that case, yeah, then I did have that from a bit younger. It just wasn't like thick. Whereas I do remember some kids literally going around like this. And I remember thinking, what the actual are you 27 years old? You look like a man. You look like you have a mortgage and kids. Increased appetite. 12.2 years old. It happens due to rapid growth and the body's increased energy demands. I used to get so hungry. Just would eat everything when I got home from school. I was so hungry all the time. 12.3 years old. Body hair grows. Hair begins to grow on the armpits and other areas of the body, unless your name is Jake. 12.4 years old, prone to taking risks. You seek thrills, which is part of the adolescent exploration. I don't remember that, actually. Prone to taking risks. Yeah, I don't remember trying to do more, like, dangerous things. Maybe I was doing things and I wasn't aware of it. I don't know. 12.5 years old, impulsive behavior. Testosterone has an impact on the brain's amygdala, which causes this. I remember asking one of my teachers in school, what is the worst year to teach? And she said it was year 9. And I think that's why, because most kids at that age are going through puberty and they have impulsive behavior. You know, you don't know if they're going to randomly bite you or, I don't know, give you a bar of chocolate. It could go either way. This is a weird one. I didn't know this. At 12.6 years old, skin becomes thicker. Testosterone increases collagen production, leading to thicker and tougher skin. So you basically turn into a rhino. 12.7 years old, increased oil production in skin. Well, that's why I was so greasy all the time. It had nothing to do with the fact I didn't shower or have a bath. It's because I was going through puberty. More oil on your skin increases the risk of clogged pores. The body's so weird, isn't it? 12.8 years old, changes in sleep patterns. It leads to a tendency to stay up later at night and have difficulty waking up. That was definitely me. I mean, nobody likes getting up for school, but all the way through summer holidays, I would be getting like 9-10 hours sleep every night. I so remember that, and I don't know, that rarely happens now. Oh God, acne. That was so bad. Imagine what I looked like, right, when I was going through puberty. Little 14-year-old ginger boy with braces and acne. Can you imagine that going through school? I breezed through. If other people in your family had acne, you may be more likely to have it too. Well, I did. Yes, mood swings. 13 years old. During puberty, your emotions may become stronger and more intense. Yep, they certainly did. Yeah, I remember just like lashing out, just getting really annoyed at small things. but it's all part of it. At 13.2 years old, you become more aggressive. Does that mean the year 7s are going to get even worse when they turn like year 9? Elevated testosterone levels can sometimes lead to increased physical aggression. Well, there you go. I've never actually been in a fight. I'd say I definitely remember getting angrier more easily. I wouldn't say I got more aggressive. 13.3 years old, testosterone binds to muscle cells. Testosterone enters the cell and binds to an intracellular receptor. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to leave you guys to work that one out. At 13.4 years old, protein synthesis promoted. All protein is synthesized from some combination of amino acids. I think this is the kind of age that I started to grow a lot, so this all makes sense now. 13.5 years old, shoulders broaden. Ugh. This creates a more triangular body shape. Well, there you go. 13.7 years old, inappropriate thoughts, fantasies, and desires become more prominent. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. No more comments on that. Yeah, that is definitely the sort of age that thoughts were popping in my mind. 13.8 years old, muscle mass increases. Muscle mass increases due to testosterone levels rising. Yeah, I do. I definitely remember that. I was doing a lot of sport when I was that age as well. I was playing a lot of badminton, so that probably helps as well. But yeah, I'd say 100% my muscle mass definitely started increasing. For sure. 13.9 years old, you form deeper emotional bonds. You start feeling more complex feelings as you mature. Interesting. Yeah, I suppose that's true, because before I hit puberty, all I cared about was Xbox, and I think that was it. Whereas as I got older, it was Xbox and girls. 14 years old, you become stronger. The muscles are now more capable of sustaining activity and endurance. So yeah, as soon as you hit 14 years old, or around that age, you just become more of a man. You're just better. You're just better at physical exercise. It's pretty cool. It literally feels like you're Peter Parker before the spider bite and then after the spider bite. Puberty is like a superpower. 14.1 years old, sweat glands become more active. The increase in various hormones makes the body's sweat glands more active. I sweat a lot during sport, thanks to my dad and his genetics. If you're watching, thanks, Dad. But yeah, no, I sweat loads. Yeah, I do definitely remember as I got older sweating more. Oh my God, I so remember this. 14.2 years old, stronger smell. I so remember this. Going through the PE changing rooms after a PE lesson, nobody would wear deodorant because they thought, well, I haven't smelt before, it's probably fine now. And it would honestly smell like a fucking, I don't know, gas chamber. It was so bad. The density of BO going up your nostrils in one of those changing rooms. Just kids that have no, I don't know, just kids that have no hygiene. Or they're just unaware. There's so many smelly boys in school. Especially under the arms and in the downstairs region. Well, I wasn't actively sniffing other boys' armpits or their private parts. I didn't need to. I could just smell it. 14.5 years old, you become more self-conscious. That's interesting. It's interesting what effects puberty has not only on physical body, but like on the mind as well. Physical changes often make boys more self-conscious about their appearance. Yeah, I definitely remember that, because I remember thinking, well, I'm interested in girls. I hope they're interested in me as well. And it turns out they weren't. They weren't. 14.6 years old, you may feel insecure. Oh look, I'm reliving that right now. High awareness of body image can sometimes lead to embarrassment or insecurity. Yep, let's breeze over that one. No, it's true. That is the exact age that boys feel insecure, because they're just learning about their body. Their body's growing. They're learning about what they're interested in, who's interested in them. It's just a really complex time in people's lives, and I really would hate to relive that. 14.8 years old, you seek independence. Boys start to seek more independence from their parents. Yeah, I'd say I did. Only because it felt embarrassing not to. My friends were allowed to go to the shops on their own or cook on their own, and I wasn't allowed to do that. I would be a bit annoyed. I don't know, if everyone had the same rules, then I maybe wouldn't have sought independence as much. It's more of just like, I feel like this one's more of a fear of missing out kind of thing. I don't know, maybe I'm talking out my ass. At 15 years old, emotional regulation develops. Boys become better at being able to handle stressful situations. Yeah, just scream. Just scream into a bag. There you go, that's how I deal with it nowadays. 15.2 years old, you become more mature. Your social interactions become more nuanced and emotionally complex. That hasn't happened for me yet. Maybe one day. 15.3 years old, would become more frequent. Oh, I see, wood. I was thinking, what? You're going to start seeing more trees? What's going on? Erections become more frequent. Wood becomes more frequent. And for some boys, wet dreams. I think I've only ever had one wet dream in my life, and that was during puberty. Yeah. Glad we cleared that up. No, I do remember that. It was so annoying as well. You just get random erections during school. There'd always be some person that would shout out, "Oh, he's got a boner!" And then, you know, the whole class would laugh. Oh, God, it's really bringing back horrible memories. 15.4 years old. Facial hair reaches full potential. Well, if didn't for me. Armpit and other hair is also become fully developed with coarser and darker hair. Facial hair reaches full potential. Now, I couldn't grow a full beard, I don't think, until at least 18. I didn't really properly try, but it definitely wasn't 15. It was patchy. That's how I describe it. It was patchy. 15 and a half years old. Hairline takes on an adult shape. Some boys may notice a slight receding of the frontal hairline as it matures. At the age of 15 and a half years old, you're already receding in your hairline. That is some bad genetics. I feel for those people. Imagine you're 15 and a half years old and you're already going bald. 15.7 years old. Muscle growth fully activated. Muscle fibers thicken and strengthen, shaping the adult male physique. Well, there you go. I definitely remember feeling stronger, like the strongest I'd ever been at around 15, 16. Well, basically just as I got older. 15.8 years old. Your endurance increases. This contributes to higher strength levels. Bang! Yeah, the cross-country runs were definitely a lot easier as you got older. 15.9 years old, so you're nearly 16. Stabilization of voice. The voice now reaches its permanent pitch and tone. That's interesting. I didn't know it happened around that age. I love how it says stabilization of voice, but even now, at the age of 24, I still voice break. So, that's a load of bollocks. Oh yeah, 16 years old, voice cracks stop. I don't think they fucking do! The vocal cords are fully matured and voice cracking has largely stopped. Okay, largely stopped. That's fair enough. I don't do it that often. 16.1 years old, you become emotionally stable. Not valid. That's never happened. The hormonal surges that cause mood swings earlier in puberty stabilize. I mean, I remember so many emotionally unstable 16-year-olds when I was in school, so I don't know. I don't know how true that is. At 16.2 years old, you can control your impulses. The brain's decision-making and impulse control center fully develops. I don't ever think I was that impulsive. I was always the kind of kid that would think about what they were doing before they would do it. That's probably why I've never been in a fight, because I would always be thinking, oh God, if I hit this dude, I'm probably going to get expelled or whatever, you know? At 16.3 years old, you take your goals seriously. You may have a stronger understanding of your values and interests. I think that's also probably partly because you're coming up to the end of school. So it's just like our natural environment is that it forces us to think about, are you going to go to uni? Are you going to get an apprenticeship? What are you going to fucking do with your life? And I didn't know. And I don't think anyone does, really. 16.4 years old. Interest in committed relationships. There is greater interest in deeper connections with friends and partners. Yeah, I think there definitely was more of an interest when I got older, but I still didn't. 16 and a half years old. Acne goes away. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Because it didn't leave me till I was about friggin' 18. Acne often improves as hormone levels balance out. I really feel like I had puberty quite shit. It started late and finished late. 16.6 years old, fat levels stabilize. Towards the end of puberty, boys have an adult distribution of body fat. I think fortunately I've been quite lucky with my genetics and fat levels. I've not really had to worry about that. But I think a lot of kids do, because puberty happens and you just fucking shit. I mean, puberty happens and yeah, your fat levels are going to go up and down all the time. I was definitely probably the opposite. I was probably skinnier and I was more conscious about being skinny. But everyone's different. When you're going through puberty, it is hard to maintain the ideal body type because your body's going through so many changes and so is your brain. 16.7 years old, better physical coordination. Boys now have better control over their motor skills. I'd say I definitely got a lot better at badminton and computer games, like video games when I got to that age. That's interesting. So like your brain and body is better at acting as one. I'm learning so much. 16.8 years old, you're better at making decisions. You can consider multiple perspectives when solving problems. No, still that. 17 years old, social independence more important. You become less reliant on parents for emotional and financial support. Yeah, I'd say that's true, but that's also just because you're becoming more of an adult. I don't know, if you didn't become more independent, then you're fucked. so yeah, it's part of puberty, but it's also, I feel like it's just part of life as well. At 17.3 years old, adult-sized manhood. Don't worry, some people's keep growing until they're in their 20s. Oh, that's relieving. One day I hope to see mine. Still hasn't come out yet. 17.7 years old, libido levels out. The libido becomes more stable and interest in lovemaking is more consistent. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't go up and down all the time. And you just feel like, really horny! And then I don't want to ever see a girl again in my life. That is literally what happened when I was going through puberty. Just like up and down all the time. 18 years old, growth stops. Oh, that's interesting because I heard didn't stop until you're 21. Toward the end of puberty, growth plates begin to close. Okay, they begin to close. Well, it says growth stops, so I do think, though, I carried on growing from when I was 18 to 21. I think not a lot. Obviously, I did most of my growing up until that point, but I think I carried on a little bit after that. 18.3 years old, hormone levels stabilize. This is a major event signaling the end of puberty. The end of puberty. At 20 years old, able to grow a full beard. This depends on your genes, but growing a full beard is a sign of adulthood. Yeah, I'd say that's accurate. It was still a bit patchy, but I'd say that's accurate. And finally, we have made it to the last one. Now, this one's a really interesting one, right? At the age of 25 years old, prefrontal cortex fully developed. It can take another few years for your brain to fully form. So basically, what that means is your brain is not fully developed until you are 25 years old. Now, that's really cool because that means I've got a lot of catching up to do. I'm 24 years old and I don't know, I feel like I'm nowhere near being fully developed yet. So hopefully by my 25th birthday, I'm going to be like a genius or something. Is that how it works? I don't know. We have made it to the end of the video, guys. I hope you learned something. If you did learn something in this video, please don't hesitate to subscribe. We do videos like this all the time. You can just check out the channel, check out some other videos. It's quite funny to reminisce as well because it just brings back so many memories of school and like other boys, the bigger boys that had gone through puberty when I hadn't. That's what it reminds me of because I hit puberty so late. Wait, not late. Nobody's late, nobody's early. It just happens when it happens. But it felt like at the time I was going through it much later than everyone else. But it really didn't matter at the end of the day. It happens. It's going to happen to everyone. Just have to wait till your time. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. Take it easy. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! Oi! Subscribe!
Oh God, please subscribe! Subscribe!
Subscribe! Subscribe!